Oh yeah. It's your host of WLOZ, Bunya Howard, Bunya Sharam. Akim over there at WLOZ that came with another smash hit. What would you gain if you lose your soul?
What does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? I'd rather live my life like Job, Lord, refine me in the furnace till I'm pure like gold from out the concrete ghoul rose. What does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? I'd rather live my life like Job, Lord, refine me in the furnace till I'm pure like gold. The truth was written, it was never sold.
There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job, very wealthy, blessed and healthy with a soul pure as gold. Couldn't find another man like him because he was perfect and never sinned. The reason why the devil didn't like him, so he asked the Lord, could he test him? The only reason why he loyal to you because you blessed him, so he gave him over. Now Satan happy that he taking over, trying to convict him, had the power to do everything but kill him. Now Job never seen it coming, took all his riches and his cattle, he was left with nothing. But he never folded. He blessed Yahweh and he kept his soul, cause he was loyal even though he started breaking out with boils. His wife started to take it hard, but through it all, Job never turned on his God. Then the Lord turned back his captivity of troubles, and everything he lost, he got back double. Barakatha Yahweh.
For the man to gain the world and lose his soul, I'd rather live my life like Job, Lord, refine me in the furnace till I'm pure like gold from out the concrete ghoul rose. What does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? I'd rather live my life like Job, Lord, refine me in the furnace till I'm pure like gold. The truth was written, it was never sold. The Most High gave me authority and a blank check with your name, most importantly. How much for your soul? A big house with some Porsche keys, hollers from overseas, so you can have you some orgies, boy, please. You gotta sign in blood to afford these, but you can have it all if you just act accordingly. It's some forbidden fruit, since you thinking you worthy. You won't surely die, take a bite and come serve me. All I ask in return is a coon for eternity. You're every kingdom in the firmament for your loyalty. Tell your children to keep gang banging and murdering, and tell your women they need Brazilian butt lift surgery. Teach them love is love, can't forget about gay pride. Try and change your mind and that ass is mine. Once you sign a dotted line, there's no way to repent. Don't try to turn back now, you should have read the fine print. Does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? I'd rather live my life like Job, Lord, refine me in the furnace till I'm pure like gold from out the concrete ghoul rose. What does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? I'd rather live my life like Job, Lord, refine me in the furnace till I'm pure like gold. The truth was written, it was never sold.
So what's the price of your soul? You want the chain, the whip, the cars, the clothes, the money, the Benz, the Rolls, the D's and Lows? We want the kingdom. The whole earth is our turf. By Shema Mashiach Yahushua.
I pray. Yeah. Yes, I pray. Hey, yeah. I pray to y'all that one day my people see them chariots spreading the word in them streets, but my people not hearing us. I pray that we make it through the fire. This word gon' take us higher, yes I know. I pray to y'all that one day my people see them chariots spreading the word in them streets, but my people not hearing us. I pray that we make it through the fire. This word gon' take us higher. I just lost faith. Yeah, I've been down bad. Nobody know who I am. Now it's time to be great. I'm on a mission trying to stay persistent. These demons can't get in the way. This is my exodus plan, trying to get next to the man. I know this world gonna keep me away from my vision, but I got these blessings at hand. Yeah. Cause we've been cursed, now it's time to break it. Babylon, yes, I'm trapped inside with these wicked demons. I've been losing patience. I had the faith of a mustard seed. Now I gotta plant it right into my garden and watch it grow into a bunch of trees. Growth and prosperity, yes, it's something that I love to see. I cannot quit. Thinking back on the days I was misguided, yes, I reminisce. Now I know my heritage, I gotta cherish it. I'm trying to live. Yes, I got so much to give. We can't be saved until it's the end. I'm staying strong, I cannot switch. I'm hanging on, I got the grip. I pray to y'all that one day my people see them chariots. Spreading the word in them streets for my people not hearing us. I pray that we make it through the fire. This word gon' take us higher, yes I know. I pray to y'all that one day my people see them chariots. Spreading the word in them streets for my people not hearing us. I pray that we make it through the fire. This word gon' take us higher. Yes, I know. We've been through the chains and the yoke. 12 tribes only. They were so used to the old me. I cannot hang with the jokes. Yeah, I done changed for the better. Never gonna let up. Nah, it ain't in my lane cause I'm woke. And you should be woke too. Rich nigga talk, yeah, that's old news. Yeah, I done changed on the bros. Now I know my driving is shooter. I cannot ride with no shooter. I sing with that sword in my hand. And them scriptures gon' cut you if you actin' screwed up. Watch how them prophets gon' do you. I keep my faith in the ruler. Pray for salvation and wait for that day in the future. I know that it's coming soon. My people gotta repent and come back cause some demons gon' come for you. My people don't know they're the chosen. They just wanna go with the motion. Gotta spread the word in these last days. Cut it off our past ways, we've been so broken. Gotta feed the sheep, I'ma show them that we the real truths, we've been stolen. Yeah, we gotta wake up, gotta get the faith up. World domination is an ocean. I'm just waiting for them chariots. Take us right into the sky. All my people never get enough. They was living in a lie. Real brews never die. We just want to see the light. Yes, we ready for the fight. Do it all for the tribes. Do it all for the tribes.
That's right. The world's greatest fool and name it after me.
Hey. Shout out ASAP on the engineering. Shout out to Ruddy J on the beat. Let's go. Hey, hey, hey. What? Check me out. 7-12, 7-8, I hit the earth. All praises to the Father for my birth, like the frankincense and myrrh. Now it's fringes on my shirt, cause I put the Father first. Kick my friends to the curb, then I swerve. Ricky Bobby in the streets with the scripts for the lost sheep like Uber Eats, Mask off, I got faith in Hamashiach. Blast off into space in the chariots. Fornication with the nations got us waiting for salvation. Just be patient, milk and honey, I can taste it, And where the priest behind. You don't know where you going unless you know where you come from. Convicted in my spirit, I spit it and they hear it. The 12 tribes love it, the other nations fear it and clear it. I'ma spit until it's over with.
Well, it's cold, hell is hot. Prosper in the law, call it jackpot. Never sell your soul, this is food for thought. Martyr for the Lord, he be juggernaut. I got the bow, I got the hammer. Trust in the Lord, never trust the drummer. We in the slugs, we in the sticks. On the corners where them brothers drop a couple bricks. Matthias with the law, if you live in the sin, the spirit gon' burn with the skin that you win. And the Lord ain't your friend if you really don't repent. He might just forgive, but it really just depends. You keep going off again and again. You should really chase the kingdom, but you rather buy them rims. If you living as a criminal, the Lord apprehends. Cause you love living wicked just to chase some dividends. We so hold that L cause we looking for wins. I hold my head high as that boat starts to bend. You running out of time, bro, don't be a fool. You drowning in your sins, don't drown in the pool. You love living high, but I call that thing a crap rock. Bring the smoke to the room, I guess that's a hot pop. He ruined my blood, I'm born in Florida. If you keep sinning, boy, it's nice knowing you. Better grab the tool, Angels can be cruel, don't be stupid, they will kill ya. Better live your life on the wise, unfamiliar. Love the 100 lives of the life that we still there. I be like, oh yeah, Israelite, oh yeah. Speaking only truth in the booth, I'm a truth bearer. Let your light shine, you'll be fussing up the Lord's prayer. If you deny, you might die for these nightmares. You was born to win, not to live in sin. Where you go repent, it's not now the win. Patient wearing thin, sin is not the trend. You was born to win, not to live in sin. Where you go repent, it's not now the win. Patient wearing thin, sin is not the trend.
What
She say Kardashian is not the trend. Aki right, but it's a wave that's slave to your sin. It's cool to break the laws, lit to turn on God. That's what they show you, so you see it's really a facade. Shout out my brothers in this walk, we moving like the mob. And when I'm going off, they let me know I'm going off. Homie, sure, I think you doing too much showing off. My dog got killed off of jealousy, he like the floss. Exodus 2017, that's really us. Our people strung out on amphetamine, smoking weed ain't enough. That's why we on them street corners right there by the bus. Doing the work of y'all, my brother, that's a must. I had to learn temptation is bigger than some lust. I'm in this walk forever, my nigga, till I'm dust. And every time I understand the scripture, it's a run.
Not the living sin. When you go repent, it don't have to win. Sin is not the trend.
Hallelujah. All praises to the power, Aim, Isaac, and Jacob. Here we go. Here we go. It is the Bring It Out radio show. Shalom to the family that's in the building. I know you haven't seen us for a while. You know, this world gets us captivated sometime, but the Most High is merciful and kind and allow us to come back together and have this show, talk about the events, the things happening in Yasharallah that affect us all, getting a biblical perspective for the things that we must know according to the word of the Heavenly Father. I am the Chief Minister Shalimar from the Lot of Zion, and I have with me the captain of captains, Captain Amawan Bunloya Bun Yasharallah. All praises to Yahweh. I know Baruch is going to be with us in a few, but until then, we played a couple of selections from the Shofar Loud. I hope you all are subscribed to the Shofar Loud channel on your YouTube. That's Shofar Loud. That's SHOFARLOUD. Make sure you're subscribed to the Shofar Loud so you can get all the latest of the hottest music in Yasharallah right there on the Shofar Loud station. Tonight, family, we're going to talk about it. It's been going on. I've seen some video, Sinetta TV, E37 weighed in on it. Also seen the brothers, our brothers over there at Sakari weighed in on this topic. And the topic was information that was being brought out about grape. We can't use the real word, so we don't want problems with the FCC. We don't have problems with YouTube, right? So we're going to say the word grape instead of the other word, right? In meaning forcing a woman to have intercourse, right? During wartime or biblical times of war, was this thing allowed? Was it sanctified by the Most High? Now, our position straight off the bat is no, it wasn't. And we're going to prove it according to the scriptures. And we're going to go into the verses and prove that it was never a part of the Most High's program for the children of Israel to do these things, right? Mm-hmm. We are warriors. We are not grapers, right?
We're not animals.
Right, we're not animals, and we don't get down like that. And we're going to show you that the Most High never told us to do that either, right? It's in the scriptures, family, right? So we are going to take a responsible position on this matter, and we're going to open up the word of the Most High Yah. I know many of you saw some of the videos, maybe heard some of the comments. If you heard a comment or saw a video about this topic, I want you to put a 1 in the chat. If you've seen any video or heard any word about this topic, I want you to put a 1 in the chat. I want to see how much of the family is aware of what is being discussed in Israel. But we here at the Lot of Zion, we're going to take a position on it. And that position is no. Forcing a woman into intercourse is not in the will of the Most High God. Right. And we're going to prove it according to the Bible. First of all, the word grape, right, is not even in the Bible, right? But there are instances in the Bible that show that this is, in fact, what's happening to a woman, right? But it's the reason why I'm saying that, because these words are interchangeable. And we're going to show you how words are interchangeable, how they can be used out of context, and how they can mean something, or you could make it mean something that it doesn't mean. All right. So, but the only way we can solidify our position is how the Bible tells us. Our doctrine must be precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. Right. That's how we understand the Bible. So we can't take one verse and set up a whole foundation on one verse. We have to take a calculation of verses. And then we're able to break it down.
Break. Use the word violation.
Violation. Okay, the water. I will use the word violation. We cannot violate a woman, all right? We cannot force a woman, we're going to say.
Beast mode, right?
Right. right? Or or injure or battery on a woman, anything to that effect. So we're going to bring it out according to the scriptures. So the first of all, I want to bless everybody that's in the building. Shalom to all the family. I'm seeing you in the comment section. The water for coming on. Salakia that we started late, but we here, never fear. The minister, the cap is here. BTO show is on. BTO show is going as usual. Business as usual on the BTO show. Tell a friend to log in. Make sure you share this on your Facebook, right? Send your link over to Facebook. Send your link over to Instagram. Send your link over to Twitter, or what they call it now? What's the way they call it? Twitch or X? Yeah. Send it over to X, right? Let the people know that the show is on, the BTO show, and they got to break down the scriptures. Brothers is about to go into the word. Shalom to the family that's in the building. Sister Ellie, shalom. Sister Water for logging in. Don Israel, shalom. All right. Maisha, always in the check-in. The Water for the support. Mariah, Rapaya, Blair is in the check-in. The Water for support. And Roland, those, shalom. Awaken Judah, shalom. All right. The big cap is in the building. The mighty man, Big Captain Biaf is in the building. Shalom, King. All right, going down the lane. All right, Kashaki is in the building. Maz Mercury, yes, sir, for the check-in. All right, so let's get busy. Let's start with Hebrews. Well, first, let's start with Colossians 3, verse 17. Always giving thanks to the Most High and even the Mashiach, Yahweh Shai. So we're going to start with Colossians 3, verse 17. Then we're going to dig into some of this word and see what the Father has for us, understandings according to the Bible. We're going to discuss it today, right? Can we violate our women, or could we violate any woman in that sense? Being chosen of the Most High God, being a vessel of righteousness. Go ahead.
The book of Colossians, chapter 3 and verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Odd One Yahweh Shai, giving thanks to the Most High and the Father by Him.
Right. So giving all thanks to the Most High in the name of Mashiach Yahweh Shai. I want to start out with Hebrews. Get the book of Hebrews 13 and verse 4. Let's start there. Hebrews 13 and verse 4.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 13 and verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled.
Right.
Whoremongers and adulterers, God will judge.
Right. God will judge whoremongers and adulterers. All right. So there's two categories there that the Most High said He will judge: whoremongers and adulterers. Now, you can't be, but the marriage bed is undefiled. So if you're going into a woman and it is a covenant of marriage, that the Most High will what? He will honor that. If you're going into a woman and it's adultery, He will not honor that. If you're going into a woman and it's a whoredom situation where she is maybe a prostitute or a woman that's just a woman of the night, you know what I mean, or something they just picked up in the club, they have all kind of words for them, you know what I mean, thought or jump off, whatever you want to say, right? The Most High doesn't honor that, right? He said that's wicked. Give me let's look at 1 Corinthians 6 and 15. That is, I think it is 6 and 15, right? He does not honor that. And reason why I'm going to that is to show you that what He has respect to, we should have respect to. And what He has disrespect to, we should have disrespect to. We should have the same thought pattern as the Most High God, right? What He love, we love. What He hate, we hate. All right, read.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 6, verse 15.
Mm-hmm.
Know ye not that your bodies are the members of a Mashiach?
Right.
Shall I then take the members of a Mashiach and make them the members of a harlot?
Right. So you couldn't even lay with a harlot, a loose woman, right? You couldn't even do that in the sight of the Most High. He said, what? Read on.
Yahweh forbid.
Right. He said He forbids you to lay with a harlot, with a woman that's a loose woman, right? Because you're defiling your body. Right. Go ahead.
What? Know ye not that he which is joined to an harlot
Mm-hmm.
is one body?
Right. Read on.
For two, saith he, shall be one flesh.
Right. So you being a righteous man, when you lay with a harlot, guess what you just made yourself? You made yourself wicked, right? So all you did, all this righteousness you did to clean up your vessel, do the mighty works of the Most High, you go lay with a harlot, guess what you just did? You just defiled your whole vessel.
You know, brothers say, you know, she was a hoe. That's why I hated her.
Yeah.
That means you won too.
Yeah.
You
just as wicked as she is. Your righteousness can't override her. You just went. You went into her darkness. You brought your light into her darkness. You turned your light off. Basically, you became dark. You didn't bring light to her, because the only way you can bring light to a harlot is what? You have to marry her.
Right.
You have to do something honest and right with this harlot woman. You can't. She can't stay a harlot. You lay with a harlot and she's still a harlot. You have made yourself into a harlot. Very important that we understand this, because it's going to lead somewhere. We're going to understand the mind, the mentality of the Most High God. All right, read on. Flee fornication.
Flee fornication.
Mm-hmm.
Every sin that a man doeth is without the body.
Mm-hmm.
But he that committeth fornication sinneth against his own body.
Does what?
Sinneth against his own body.
So if you are wrapped into fornication, you sin against your own self. You hurting yourself. You think you're hurting that person? You think violating a woman is hurting her only? You are hurting yourself too. Why? Because now you're going to be judged on that matter.
Right.
You are now the violator. You're not good with the Most High no more. So you cannot go into a woman that way and still be good with the Heavenly Father. You can't even go into a woman carnally and still be good with the Most High. Even if she agreed, you're not good with the Most High. To show you how the Most High has a very particular situations where intercourse is honored. Okay? The only particular situation that intercourse is honored is in the constraints of marriage. Any other kind of intercourse, the Most High does not honor it. Right? It's dishonorable, disrespectful in the sight of the Most High. Therefore, it is not sanctioned. He said, Yah forbid. God forbid you do anything else, any kind of fornication. So let's get the definition of the word fornication. And then we're going to get over to Deuteronomy. We get some understanding today, y'all. Because I saw the videos. I saw the commentary. I did not see the proper light put onto the law of the Most High. I saw a lot of injecture, a lot of speaking around in circles because of the situation. It's wartime. What? We're going to get into scriptures. Read that.
The word fornication in the Greek, porneia, is where the word porn comes from, or pornography comes from.
I'm glad you brought that up. Right. Porneia in Greek. That's how you say fornication. Porneia. So when you watch pornography, what you see is fornication. You're viewing fornication. You're being entertained by fornication, basically. That's the spirit of porneia, right? Go ahead.
Illicit sexual intercourse, adultery, fornication, homosexuality, lesbianism, intercourse with animals, etc., sexual intercourse with close relatives, sexual intercourse with a divorced man or woman, which really is really divorced woman, metaphor, the worship of idols, which is spiritual fornication, of the defilement of idolatry, and incurred by eating the sacrifices offered to idols.
So all these is defining the realm of fornication. Okay, unlawful intercourse, right? Unlawful intercourse. All right, intercourse that is not in the constraints of marriage. Okay, so now let's go to the word. Let's go to Deuteronomy. All right.
20, I think it's 20, right? Or 21.
Let's go to 22. Chapter 22, verse 28. I want to go to the law first concerning
You said straight to 28?
Let me see. 26. It goes into forcing.
Okay. I think you can start from 25.
Okay.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 25.
Go ahead.
But if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field,
Mm-hmm.
and the man force her
Right.
and lie with her,
Uh-huh.
then the man only that lay with her
Mhm.
shall die.
Shall what?
Shall die.
Right. So he shall die. He find a damsel in the field and he force her. That man shall die. Why? Because he has committed a sin, a great sin of fornication, a great fornication sin, right? That is punishable by death. Okay, read. By forcing the woman, physically forcing her, overpowering her, right? Read it again, and then we'll get the precept on it.
But if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, somebody's fiance,
Mm-hmm.
and the man force her
Mm-hmm.
and lie with her,
Mm-hmm.
then the man only that lay with her shall die.
Right. Why? Because he committed an atrocity towards her. She is not guilty because he forced her. Read on.
But unto the damsel thou shalt do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
There is in the damsel no sin worthy of death.
Right.
For as when a man riseth against his neighbor and slayeth him, even so is his matter.
Read.
For he found her in the field,
Mm-hmm.
and the betrothed damsel cried.
And she what?
And the betrothed damsel cried.
She means she was against what was happening to her. She was not in agreement to this intercourse. Read.
If a man find a damsel that is a virgin,
Mm-hmm.
which is not betrothed,
Mm-hmm.
and lay hold on her, and lie with her, and they be found, then the man that lay with her should give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and he shall be his wife,
Mm-hmm.
because he hath humbled her.
Right, because he what?
He hath humbled her.
So because he slept with her, he uncovered her nakedness, he has a responsibility to her to become her husband. Right? That's in the law of the Most High God. It's his responsibility to marry the woman. He laid with the woman. She was okay with it. He was okay with it. Right? She was not betrothed. She was a single woman, right? As they call today, a single woman, right? He laid with her. He has to then make what? A covenant.
Right.
That's why he says he has to go see the damsel's father, because he has to go make a covenant and marry her, right? There's a covenant that needs to be made. He cannot just get up and say, okay, well, we married now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Dap me up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. We married. Voila. Right? No, he has to make a covenant. At that time, would be to her father. But if her father is not there, then it would be to what? To whoever the Levite, your local Levite, or your priest, or whatever can officiate over the marriage. How do we learn that? We learned that in the story of Boaz and Ruth, right? He had to go and sit before the elders before he could take the woman. Why? Because it had to be official, right? Read.
A man shall not take his father's wife. Actually, no. Verse 29.
Yeah.
Then the man that lay with her should give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he has humbled her.
Right.
He may not put her away all his days.
Right. So he may not put her away, because why? He went and got with the woman before he got what? The permission. So you went and jumped ahead. How the priest always says, he put the cart before the horse, right? He put the cart before the horse, and because he did that with this lady, now he has to what? He has to own it up with the father. He has to make it right with the father, right? So that he can what? He can get the covenant to be this woman's husband. And then once that's sealed for life. Marriage is a lifelong covenant. All right. This is what the Most High created. It's not us that created it. It's not women that created it. It's not man. This is what the Most High prescribed. And it's very important that we understand this all was predicated over the intercourse. So once the intercourse took place, there's only one set of recourse after that.
Right.
Right? It's one set of recourse that's going to be honorable in the sight of the Most High. Anything short of that is going to be fornication. It's going to be evil. It's going to be wickedness, right? Certain fornication has certain punishments. You're going to see that in the scriptures. Not all fornication have the same punishment. The fornication of rape or of violations, like you, right, is death. The fornication of taking a woman and not, and that, like I said, they had the one where the guy, he took his brother's wife, but he let the
Amnon,
seed fall on the ground.
Right.
He didn't raise up seed to his brother. You know what I mean? He was off for that. He was wicked for that. All right. So there's certain grounds in intercourse that needs to be upheld and kept as a Hebrew Israelite. All right, let's read on.
That's it.
Hold on, I want the one when she's in the field. It's probably up higher in the verse. And because she cried not, they both got. Yeah. So at 21. No, 22. 22.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 22.
Yep.
If a man be found lying with a woman married to a husband, then they shall both of them die. Both the man that lay with the woman and the woman, so shalt thou put away evil from Israel.
Okay. Slack you. Is there one higher than that? Because there's one that talks about in the field. Okay, go ahead.
Right, verse 25.
Okay.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 25. But if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field.
Mm-hmm. No, that's when you force her. Mm-hmm. There's one where they both have committed adultery because she cries not out. It's like your family. I want to make sure we get the right verse. That she cried. She keep going down. 29.
1 second.
Oh, let me get my scripture.
That's 22. It's 22, 24.
Read against Lockyer.
Yeah, the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 24. Uh-huh. Then they shall bring them both out of the gate of that city, and ye shall stone them with stones that they die.
Right.
The damsel, because she cried not.
Okay, because she cried not. That's what I'm looking for. All right. So now this damsel, in this case, she didn't cry. That means she was down with the program, right? And she was already betrothed, or she had a husband. That means she was committing adultery, and she was okay with what was happening here. So she as well got stoned, right? So she lost her life because of what's too. So now listen to the understanding. The Most High is so serious about our intercourse, who we lay with, that He will take your life because who you laid with, right? That's a punishable by death. You know they have great sins and small sins, right? A small sin, it depends on what the punishment is, right? A great sin is when your punishment is great.
Right, just as like somebody steal, but you found out because they were hungry, so they'll just do restitution and that's it.
Right.
But then there's somebody who's a murderer. You got to pay with your life.
Right. So there's not every sin is punishable by your life being taken. Right. That means you did something way off the chart. Okay. So you lie with you fornicate, you deal with whoredoms. You may not get killed, but you're going to get most likely going to deal with you. But if you don't lay with another man's wife, you're going to be taken out, right? And if you're a woman and you try to seek another man, you're going to be taken out by the Most High, right? Why are we going through all of this? Because we have to first get the foundation of the understanding of the Most High when it comes to a man laying with a woman and what constraints is under his tutelage, under his law. Now let's get the law on forcing, right? Or no, in fact, give me that Samuel's first. Let's get that Samuel's that you pulled earlier. 13?
Yeah. You want the full thing or? Well, actually, no, you don't need the full thing.
I don't need the full thing.
I'm going to start from verse 8.
Go ahead.
The book of 2 Samuel, chapter 13 and verse 8. So Tamar went to her brother Amnon's house, and he was laid down, and she took flour and kneaded it and made cakes in his sight, and did bake the cakes. And she took a pan and poured them out before him, but he refused to eat. And Amnon said, "Have out all the men from me." And they went out, every man from him. And Amnon said unto Tamar, "Bring the meat into the chamber, that I may eat of thine hand." And Tamar took the cakes which she had made, and brought them into the chamber to Amnon her brother. And when she had brought them unto him to eat, he took hold of her, and said unto her, "Come lie with me, my sister." And she answered him, "Nay, my brother, do not force me, for no such thing ought to be done in Israel. Do not thou this folly.
Go ahead.
And I, whither shall I cause my shame to go? As for thee, thou shalt be as one of the fools in Israel. Now therefore, I pray thee, speak unto the king, for he will not withhold me from thee." Howbeit, he would not hearken unto her voice, but being stronger than she, forced her and lay with her.
Right. So this is an example of a violation. Forced her and laid with her. Okay. Jump down in the verse 16.
Verse 16. And she said unto him, There is no cause.
There's what?
There is no cause.
Right.
This evil is in sending me away. Is greater than the other that thou didst unto me. But he would not hearken unto her.
Right. So it was an evil that he did unto her. By what? By laying with her and forcing her. It was an evil that was done unto her. To lay with a woman and force her is an evil. So now, let's go to Deuteronomy 21. Let's get to the scripture that we're going to examine. 21 verse 10.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 21 and verse 10.
Let's go.
When thou goest forth to war.
Now we have wartime. What's war? Battling, fighting, killing, right? Hold that and give me Jeremiah. That my battle axe and weapons of war.
Okay.
51. 19. Or so 20.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 20.
Go ahead.
Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war.
Right. So now at war, what do we do during war? Read.
For with thee will I break in pieces the nations.
We break in pieces our enemy. We destroy our enemy. Okay. Read on.
And with thee will I destroy kingdoms.
We destroy, pull down, and plunder in war. That is what war is about. War is really there to get the victory.
Right.
War is not because we just want to fight. We don't war for no reason. You know what I mean? In this kingdom, people war for no reason.
Right.
There's like a rebel with no cause. They just fight to fight. No, when we fight to obtain something, whether it be land or take away our enemy, take away the siege, take away somebody trying to overtake us, to establish our nation. We don't just war for nothing. So when we war for the purpose of what we're trying to gain. So now, if war brings violating women, what do you get out of that?
Right.
What's the gain? You don't get a gain out of that. So that's not a part of war tactics. War tactics is to overcome the enemy, right?
And take resources, get tributaries.
The scriptures say, when you go to take a city, first you proclaim peace to it. And if they don't want peace, then you bring war. Why? Because you must take the city. Let's go back to Deuteronomy 21 and verse 10.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 21 and verse 10.
Go ahead.
When thou goest forth to war against thy enemies. like, yeah. And Yahweh thy power has delivered them into thy hand, and thou hast taken them captive.
Taken them captive. So we took our enemies captive, right? Why do we take them captives? Because after you pillage and plunder a country, what has to happen next? It has to be rebuilt. If we don't have any captives, who's going to rebuild it? Now we got to rebuild it? No, we're going to use the captives, right? We're going to use the captives to occupy, to take care of what we just acquired, right? Go ahead.
That, what do you call that thing? There's a word for it too. It's going to come to me. And seest among the captives a beautiful woman.
So now you've captured this country, and you've seen this woman, and you're like, man, I like her, right? This is wartime. Read.
Okay, I ain't not gonna lie. You just gave me a revelation. How you just explained that? Because a lot of times when you just look at it face value, you think this is in the midst of you just destroying and all that stuff. You see somebody hiding under the bed.
No,
you're like, yo, you bad.
Feet.
Let's
like,
go.
Oh, you're all right.
You bad. Let's fly.
We're not barbarians. You know what I'm saying? We've already pillaged and plundered. We already killed the males. We're saving the women and children. We're rounding them up. We got them working, doing different things to rebuild what we just destroyed, right? So that it could be a functioning city. Because if you don't keep a functioning city, what happens? The animals and nature take over the city and destroy it. So then it's of no use to anybody. It becomes a wilderness. So when we take over a city, it needs to be occupied, it needs to be used, it needs to be active. Right? Go ahead.
And sees among the captives a beautiful woman.
Right.
And has a desire unto her.
And has a desire unto her. So he desired this woman. Right. His eye was inclined towards this woman. Right. Read on.
And has a desire unto her that thou wouldest have her to thy wife.
To thy what?
To thy wife.
Have her to thy wife. So now this is the main thing. You cannot acquire a wife through violation. A wife is acquired through a covenant, right? We just went over that. A wife is acquired through a covenant. Read. Okay, yeah. Well. Yeah, read it again.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 21, verse 11, in the NLT. And suppose you see among the captives a beautiful woman, and you are attracted to her and want to marry her.
And you want to marry her. So you want to have this woman, right? So what do you do when you want a woman? Any could one of the men on the line in the chat tell me what you do when you see a woman and you want to have her?
You see her in the fruit department in public.
Do you take a club and knock on her head and drag her into your car, like the cavemen did? We're not Esau the caveman, right? So what do we do when we see a woman we want to acquire? All right, talk to me, Israel. Because sometimes we unplug when we read the Bible. We think the Bible is talking some mystical, majestic time that doesn't exist anymore. We are still the same people that's in the Bible. We think in the same way that the people that's in the Bible. So what do you do when you see a woman that you would like to have her? You say, man, she's good looking. What would I like to do? What do you do? All right, family. Somebody help me out in the chat. Tell me, what do you do as a male when you see a woman and you would like to have her?
Spread like butter.
Right? Right? Give me an idea. So let's read on.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 21, and verse 12. Then thou shalt bring her home to thine house.
Thou shalt do what?
Bring her home to thine house.
Thou shalt bring her home to thy house. This is a very important part. Because this is the part that sets aside the thought of anything violent or anything raging. You brought her home to your house. You said, listen, I like you. You need to come home with me, right?
It's crazy how when you actually reading it, it's crazy. Because when I first read it, I'm thinking like this is like in the middle of World War II. And you feel me? But when you actually take your time, the digestion was being written. Like after when it says that thou wouldest take her to be thy wife, you got to remember the whole process it takes. Running game, probably going out, doing this, doing that, and etc. Building up that relationship and then bringing her home. By the time you bring her home, You already did all the necessary
You
requirements.
talking to her.
Right.
You said, come with me, man. First of all, we experienced this in this kingdom, but we were experiencing it on the reverse side.
Right.
Right? When we were in the hands of Esau, some of our sisters got raped. But some of them, they made a conscious choice to go and be with who's in the house. Right? They made a conscious choice. They didn't rape me. One of the young men in the house found one of the slaves to be attractive. They got to talking. Next thing you know, if that master allowed this woman in the house, she can come in the house. She's not gonna say, no, I'm gonna stay in the field, right? I'm gonna stay in the back house and back in the woods picking cotton. No, she got an opportunity to go into the house of the master. She's going. It's just like today. Who's the men that all the women want to be with? The men that's on the bottom or the men that's on top? Right?
Who goes on top?
The women want to be with the men that's on top. The men that got what? Substance, that got comfort,
Right.
that have something to provide to them. This is what women talk about all the time. What do you think they were something different in the biblical times?
Right. They want the Israelite extremists.
You know what I mean? They would they don't want
kingdom.
in the kingdom, right? They're looking for comfort right now. Listen, war went down. All their males that they were used to protecting them, they not around no more. So now they got to fend for themselves. They out there, they got their children. And this man is saying, yo, listen, this is not a woman with a child. The woman has to be a virgin. We'll go into that in a minute, right? If you take a woman, she cannot have known man. Because the woman that known man, we would destroy them too. We're going to get that out of the scriptures, right? It'd have to be a woman that have not known man. So this young virgin is seeing everything that's going down, and now she has this man who obviously got the power, right? And I ain't talking about the TV show, right? He got the power, he got the clout, and he's telling her, come to my house. She's going. What's she gonna do? Stay out here with the rest of these jokers? No, that's a come up. So he don't have to force her, beat her, or drag her. He just got to suggest it. So if you see this woman, right, in this scenario, when we out in wartime, because in normal instances, the Most High doesn't let us marry the other nations, and we're gonna prove all that.
Okay, right? You're ready to.
We're gonna prove all that too, right? What you pulling up?
About the other woman that known man?
Yeah, that's not known man.
Yeah.
All right.
You want that right now? Or?
Yeah, you can give me that. Just so I can prove that point. We're about to pull a scripture to prove the point that it has to be a woman that have not known man. All right.
The book of Numbers, chapter 31 and verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
And Moses and Eleazar the priest and the princes of the congregation went forth to meet them without the camp.
Mm-hmm.
And Moses was wroth with the officers of the host, with the captains over thousands and captains over hundreds, which came from the battle. And Moses said unto them, have ye saved all the women alive? Behold, these caused the children of Israel through the counsel of Balaam to commit trespass against Yahweh in the matter of Peor.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a plague among the congregation of the Lord. Mm-hmm. Now therefore, kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman that have not known man.
That have what?
That have not known man.
Wait.
So like kill every woman that have known man.
That
so like,
has known man, right? Every woman that has had intercourse, that has laid with a man. Why? Because they're defiled. You can't touch them. You can't be with them. They've known man, so you can't have no use. There's no
gain.
That
You commit adultery.
That you commit adultery. Somebody could accuse you. Read on.
That have known man by lying with him.
Mm-hmm.
For all the women children
mm-hmm.
that have not known a man by lying with them,
mm-hmm.
keep alive for yourselves.
Right.
And do ye abide without the camp 7 days, whosoever hath killed any person.
So these young women will be servants, maids, handmaids to clean, fix, all the stuff that you do when you have a camp. Just like we are here in America. We're servants, right? We got to clean, fix, and restore the things of this kingdom that don't belong to us. So they had to come and work, and they wanted workers that they wouldn't have to worry about them rising up and and fighting and taking over, right? The women ain't gonna rise up, fight, and take over, especially the virgin woman, because now if you were to take and have some one would catch your eye, you would be able to be with this woman because she's a virgin woman. Okay, it's not that you're gonna force her to be with you, but look at her options, right? It ain't she got other men of her nation, to be with. We killed them all, right? So this is the way the Most High operate. So it's only common sense that would say the woman is not being physically forced, but offered this arrangement, and she's going to take it. All right. I got something. Awaken Judah. He must take a woman that of his people. We're not going there yet. We're not going there yet. We're talking about wartime.
That's the requirements for the for the Levites.
You're absolutely correct. But we're not going there
for the priests and high priests.
We're not going there yet. We're talking about wartime right now. This is wartime marriages. All right. We're going to go and why this is significant, because normally we're not to touch these other nation women, right? But in wartime marriages, this thing was made permissible in wartime marriages. And then soon after the war was settled, the Most High made it separate from the women. I'm going to show you that in the scriptures. Okay. Before we get there, let's go back to Deuteronomy 21. So now we're getting a better synopsis of what is really going on here. It's not a beat over the head, strangle her, and take it. It is, I'm giving her this option to be with me. She's going to take the option because she is not many choices. Remember, the decision we making, the decisions we all make, is all predicated on what choices we have. All right. I can't wake up today and decide that I'm going to drive the Bugatti today. Why can't I drive the Bugatti today? Because I don't have a Bugatti, right? So that's not a decision I can make. You can only make decisions within the realm and what is offered to you. So what are these women? What decision they have to make? Either be married to you or don't be married at all. Because they're in captive. There is no other man for them. We got to really put ourselves in a situation. And our forefathers and our foremothers went through similar situations here in this kingdom.
And they're looking at, them being in the captive state. They're looking like, these guys are those dudes. They're the ones running everything.
They running everything.
They're running everything.
Sometimes you can't blame our women in time of our captivity. That some of them went with these with the slave master. What they beat us down. They gave us nothing, and he has everything. They're gonna go that way, right? A lot of our women went that way willfully. Now, some of them were raped, absolutely, because we had marriages within our bunkers, within our captive state, but we didn't do that with the nations. We took out their men. We took out their male children. So they wasn't even cultivating men, right? They only had women and daughters. So if they was going to be either a virgin for the rest of their life or be with a man of Israel, that was their choices, one or the other. All right, let's go back to Deuteronomy 21, verse 12.
Verse 12. Then thou shalt bring her home to thine house, and she shall shave her head.
Who shall shave her head?
And she shall shave her head.
So now think about this, Art. If this is a forced situation, wouldn't somebody shave her head?
Wouldn't he have the clippers on the head to get rid
You know
of
what I'm saying? It said she shall shave her head, meaning that this is a cleansing. The shaving of the head is a cleansing, because if you know something about hair, whatever you ingest in your body is in your hair, right? Everybody that ever, back in the days, you might have smoked a little bit, right? And they'll tell you if they take your hair, they'll know if you ever hit anything in the last 6 months, it's in your hair, right? That's like the super test for what's in your bloodstream. So the cutting of the hair is a cleansing ceremony. Why? Because these nations, they eat all kind of abominations. They're around all the kind of abominations. You have to cleanse the woman for that woman to be with this man. So she had to clean her hair. And what's another thing that holds a history? Your nails, right? She had to cut her nails and keep clipping her nails really short. So when they grow back fresh with her new diet, right? Her new surroundings. Because now she's in a Hebrew's house. So she needs to purge out all that demonic, heathenistic,
that Vashtu and Krishna,
Buddha,
and
all that was in her system. That needs to be purged out. All right, go ahead.
And she should put the raiment of her captivity from off of her.
Okay, let's talk about the raiment of her captivity. So when you were captives, you wasn't dressed in scarlet. You know what I mean? The captives was in rags, right? Because you were captive. You wearing, we keep you clothed, but you ain't clothing you ain't got no Louis, you ain't got no Dolce. You ain't out there in Gucci and you're a captive. No, you out there in rags. So he said, now you're in my house. You not have to look like you belong. So now you got to put on some Hebrew attire, some righteous attire, some better clothing, some better fabrics, right? Because we're ruling. So you can't be up in a ruling house looking scrubby and looking scruffy. You got to look like a wife now. So now the handmaidens is putting the brand new clothes on her. She getting taken care of. She getting dealt with. That's why I wanted to go to the story. I might go to the story of Ruth, because this thing went down in the story of Ruth, where he had the maids in the house take care of Ruth, build her up, get her right before he ever even dealt with her. Right? She was in the house. Ruth was in the house before Boaz dealt with her. Right? That's that process of being prepared for a husband. All right, go ahead.
And she should put the raiment of her captivity from off of her, and shall remain in the house and bewail her father and her mother a full month.
A what?
A full month.
Right. He ain't rushing her. Right. He understand that she just lost family members. This is a caring situation. This is not a situation of violence. Right. When you violate a woman that way, that's a violent thing. That you taking that woman. You are taking something from her. That's why the Most High said it's a punishable by death. It's like you actually killed her. This is not a situation of killing this woman. This is her going through her transitional period from being whatever this kind of nation, a Moabite or Ammonite, right, to being in a household of an Israelite, whatever the case may be, or whatever nation she was from. It's called a Midianite. Let's say Midian, right, or Ishmaelite. And she's going through the process of what? Joining a Hebrew Israelite society, all right? A Torah ran society. She cannot bring whatever she was dealing with in her life before that. All right, let's read.
And she shall put the raiment of her captivity from off of her, and shall remain in the house, in thy house, and bewail her father and her mother a full month. Right. And after that, thou shalt go in unto her.
Thou shalt do what?
Go in unto her.
So does this sound like a force? After that, after she bewailing, after she calmed down, she's good. After that, you may go in onto her. Hold that and give me I think when I think it's Jacob that asked for his wife, he may go in onto her.
That's what I'm
yeah. All right. So this is no force happening here. All right. Read that.
The book of Genesis, chapter 29, and verse 21. And Jacob said unto Laban, give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go in unto her.
That I might go in unto her. What does that mean? I might marry her. All right. I might solidify my covenant with this woman. That I might lay with her. Right? Because this is my wife. So this captive woman is becoming this man's wife. So he's going in onto her. He's not forcing her. Right? And lying with her. She's not crying out. There's no violence happening here. He's laying into her. So he's taking her to be wife. Read on. We'll go back to 14.
Verse 14. And it should be, If thou have no delight in her,
Mm-hmm.
then thou shalt let her go.
So now
whither
let's
she
say
will.
after you lay with her, because she's not a Hebrew Israelite woman, you are not bound to her for the rest of your life, because there could be no bound between us and the other nations. Let's get that. Get Deuteronomy 7. 7 verse 1.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
When Yahweh thy power shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it,
Mm-hmm.
and has cast out many nations before thee,
Go ahead.
the Hittites,
Mm-hmm.
and the Girgashites,
Mm-hmm.
and the Amorites,
Go ahead.
and the Canaanites,
Go ahead.
and the Perizzites,
Mm-hmm.
and the Hivites,
Read.
and the Jebusites,
Come on.
7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when Yahweh thy power shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt make no covenant with them.
Let's make what?
No covenant with them.
Read on.
Nor show mercy unto them.
Go ahead.
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them.
Come on.
Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son,
Mm-hmm.
nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
Go ahead.
For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods.
They may do what?
Serve other gods.
So now, the purpose that the Most High told us not to lay with these other nations is because they would mess with our minds, and they would come between us and our God. They would have the men's heart would be inclined towards the woman,
Mm-hmm.
and then their judgment. If the Most High want to bring judgment on the nations, he's gonna have to make a choice now.
Right.
So he's gonna be in his heart, in his spirit, he's gonna be covenanted to this woman. He's probably gonna have children with this woman, right?
That's
So
his
he's
loyalty gonna be.
right,
You're
it's
gonna
gonna-
feel like you're gonna have to choose, etc.
right. You're gonna have to choose between her and the woman, between the Most High and the woman. How
Right.
do we know that this is the case? We have an example in 1 Kings 11, right? We have an example in 1 Kings 11. It happened to our great king, Solomon, right? I don't know who went to my thought for a second. Thought process stopped. It happened to our great King Solomon, right? He loved these strange women, and what happened? They became between him and the Most High, right? So that's why the Father said not to deal with them. But in war times, you could make marriages, but the marriages were always temporary. They were not permanent marriages. They were marriages for the time, for the situation, but they were not permanent. And you didn't have to stay with that woman for the rest of your life. All right. But it was definitely no violating the woman that was going on. All right. This is marrying a captive woman. All right. Go back to Deuteronomy 22:14. So we can't mistake this as the Father said, we can just take the women and brutalize them. No, it was not. If we're gonna put them to death, we put them to death. But we can't be walking around being guilty of such a crime and your accuser sitting right there. That's not how the Most High operate. Go ahead.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22:14,
Mm-hmm.
and give occasions of speech against her,
Mhm.
and bring up. I think it's starting to go to something else.
No, just finish 14 verse. Just the 14th verse. 21:14.
Oh, it's like I'm in 22.
Yeah, 21:14.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 14.
21:14.
21 and 14. And it should be, if thou have no delight in her,
Mm-hmm.
then thou should let her go whither she will.
Yep.
But thou should not sell her at all for money.
Why now? Why you can't sell her for money? Because what would that be called? What would that be called, family? If you lay with her and then you sell her somebody else, what are you doing now?
It's like prostitution.
You prostituting.
You pimping.
You pimping. Pimping ain't easy, right? So you can't be pimping, right? What does the scripture say about pimping? What does it say? Make no whore or up or the price of a dog. I think we just read it right here in the first. 23:18. Deuteronomy.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23, verse 18.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt not bring the hire of a whore
Right.
or the price of a dog
Read.
into the house of Yahweh thy power for any vow.
Mm-hmm.
For even both of these are an abomination to Yahweh thy power.
Right. To have whores and make money off of women for their sexual favors or sexual deeds is an abomination to the Most High. Y'all understand that? So those strip club owners and their money is an abomination to the Most High. Pimps and their money is an abomination to the Most High. Sex traffickers and their money is an abomination to the Most High. Madams that make their money, they got a couple shows on TV there that these women is madams, and they got women strippers and stuff like that making money. That's an abomination to the Most High. You cannot bring that money. That's a polluted money. That's money that's gain, that's ungodly gain, right? And it's not acceptable to the Most High. All right, so I brought that out to say that's why you cannot sell her. You can't sell her because at that point you pimping. Right? You laying with the woman and you selling the woman. That's wicked. So now if you can't even sell the woman and it was your you could have sold her if you didn't lay with her.
Right.
Because when you have a captive, that's your bond. That's your money. But if you lay with her, you can no longer sell her because you have taken something from her you cannot give back. Okay, read.
Verse 14. And it should be, if thou have no delight in her, then thou shalt let her go whither she will. But thou shalt not sell her at all for money. Thou should not make merchandise of her, because thou hast humbled her.
Right, because you have laid with her, you've had intercourse with her. So the humbling is what she has now. It makes her, even though she's a captive woman, she can go free. If you decide you don't want to deal with her no more as a wife, she can go free.
Right.
Okay. And she don't have no bond to you because she's not a Hebrew.
Right.
She can't be bond to you. Right. But a Hebrew woman has to be bonded to you. Right. She's a free woman. A free woman is different than a captive woman. All right. So there's no sanctioning of rape in the Bible when it comes to, I said the word again. There's no sanctioning of violation in the Bible when it comes to these other nations' women, right? Let me have Ezra 10 and verse 1. Okay, we can do a music break soon. And we're going to come back with some video, right? We have some video of some other brothers that was discussing this, and we want to review their video a little bit. After you learn what you learned here, I want you, the scholars that's on the line, to listen and determine, are they speaking aright or they're speaking folly? Are they speaking according to the will of the Most High or they're speaking according to the will of man? All right, read that.
The book of Ezra, chapter 10 and verse 1. Now when Ezra had prayed, and when he had confessed, weeping and casting himself down before the house of Yahweh, there assembled unto him out of Israel a very great congregation of men and women and children, for the people wept very sore. And Shechaniah, the son of Jael, one of the sons of Elam, answered and said unto Ezra, we have trespassed against our power.
We have done what?
We have trespassed against our power.
Check this out, family. Go ahead.
We have taken strange wives of the people of the land. Yet now there is hope in Israel concerning this thing.
Right. So whenever we took strange wives, this thing here is not something that we can continue. It was something that the Father sanctioned in time of war, and that's it. Because normally it's a sin to take strange wives. It's a sin to take wives of the other nations. Go ahead.
Now, therefore, let us make a covenant with our power to put away all the wives.
To do what?
Put away all the wives.
Now, why could they put away the wives? Because there's no covenant between a man of the Most High and a heathen woman. If you with a heathen woman, she can go. You can let her go. There's no covenant to her, right? You need to understand that, because what's given to the children, you can't just give it to every nation, right? You got to know how to treat your sisters, the women of your nation, and hold them in the high regard that the Heavenly Father holds them in. And they're not just like these other nation women, not in the sight of the Father, right? So in these times when we were taking captive these women, we wasn't supposed to stay with them forever, right? That was something temporary. And then you'll get back to your own women, and with your own women, you make lifelong marriages. Okay, go ahead, read.
Now therefore, let us make a covenant with our God to put away all the wives, and such as are born of them, according to the counsel of my other one, and of those that tremble at the commandment of our power.
Go ahead.
And let it be done according to the law.
Right, and those that tremble at the commandment. Let's get our lives and our households in order. That's basically what he's saying. That we should be, your whole family is supposed to be trembling at the word of the Heavenly Father. That's when your house is in order. People talking about their house in order. Your house is in order when everybody is putting the Most High first. That's when your house is in order. All right, when Yah's will reign, right, in your home, your home is in order. Read.
Arise, for this matter belongeth unto thee. We also will be with thee. Be of good courage and do it.
Jump down to verse 10. He said, be of good courage and do it. Get it done. It's a wise thing. Get these women out of here. Get your families, get these strangers from amongst your families and come together. Read.
The book of Ezra, chapter 10, verse 10.
Go ahead.
And Ezra the priest stood up and said unto them,
what he said?
Ye have transgressed and have taken strange wives,
right,
to increase the trespass of Israel. Now therefore, make confession unto Yahweh power of your fathers, and do his pleasure, and separate yourselves from the people of the land and from the strange wives.
Right.
Then all the congregation answered and said with a loud voice,
what they say?
As thou hast said, so must we do.
So they said, come, we down with that. So what we're showing you through these verses here is that it wasn't the Father's will for us to have strange women, right? On normal circumstances. Only in the circumstance of war and carnage did we have that time that we would able to take a woman, because we'd be away from our own women. But once our own women are available, we're not supposed to touch no strange woman, because our own women are right there. So you can't have an Israelite woman here, a Hittite woman, and say, nah, I'm gonna get with that Hittite. Forget that Israelite. You wicked as hell. Right? You can't go get a damn Moabite, and you got Ephraimites walking around, you got Simeonites walking around, and you over here with Ammon. You wicked. When we anytime took these women of other nations, we were on a journey, we were on a war path, we were handling stuff. Our women and children were back in our land. And a man, Most High bless the man, shouldn't be alone. So if he's gonna be occupying a land for some time, that's why there's a lot of Israelites in Korea. I'm gonna tell you the real deal. There's a bunch of Hebrews in Korea. And with that being said, I'm gonna bring up some music. This is the Bring It Out radio show. We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna come back with some video of some people discussing these same topics, and we're gonna see, are they speaking right or are they missing something? As we come back on the BTO show. Hallelujah.
We from the seeds of the mighty men. They told us all we was Africans. Beware of her, cause she lying, man. America, the lion's den. I can't believe all this time we the chosen. We've been deceived all these years, now we woken. Beware of her, cause she lying, man. America, the lion's den. They say we Africans, but I know that they lying. Married to Yahweh, the daughters of Zion. Devils lock us in solitary confinements. They put me in that cage in the den with the lions. You hear me from afar screaming hallelujah. Shalom Yah from the tribe of Judah. The Bible like the jaws of a barracuda. Cutting up these dogs, that's against the ruler. Be aware, cause they'll try to fool you. He said he loved us all, but he never knew you. He only showed his words to Jacob. Shout out to the 12 tribes praying that we wake up to overcome these lies, y'all. How long will it take us? Now we on the rise. They despise, then they hate us. They hate us because we got next. Yeah, the kingdom is at hand and they know we got next. Come on. We from the seeds of the mighty man. They told us all we was Africans. Beware of her because she lying, man. America, the lion's den. I can't believe all this time we the chosen. We've been deceived all these years, now we woken. Beware of her, cause she lying, man. America, the lion's den. Yeah, I'm crying out to the lost sheep with their eyes wide open, but they still sleep. Don't even know their nationality. And when I try to tell them, they get mad at me. It's like trying to charge a phone up with no battery. Seems like they find what our people dying rapidly. The blood soaking, not knowing that the God's chosen. Living in this lion's den, it's a blessing if you're now woken. Cause everything we was taught was lies. Had to be born again. The seeds of the mighty man is on the rise against the workers of iniquity. Catch them by surprise, look them in their eyes, then we slay the beast with the words of Yahweh Shai. My Bible is my sword, from the tribe of Yahweh die. We stand bold, we ain't scared of her. Give all praises to Yahweh and death to America. We from the seeds of the mighty man. They told us all we was Africans. Beware of her, cause she lying, man. America, the lion's den. I can't believe all this time we the chosen. We've been deceived all these years, now we woken. Beware of her, cause she lying, man. America, the lion's den. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. We from the seeds of the mighty man. They told us all we was Africans. Beware of her, cause she lying, man. America, the lion's den. I can't believe all this time we the chosen. We've been deceived all these years, now we woken. Beware of her, cause she lying, man. America, the lion's den.
I be Abram, I be Isaac, I be Jacob, I be Moses, I be Aaron, I be Caleb. I be like Christ, I be like Christ, I be like Christ, I be like Christ. I be Abram, I be Isaac, I be Jacob, I be Peter, I be Paul, I be Philip. I be like Christ, I be like Christ, I be like Christ, I be like Christ. I be Elijah, rain down fire. I be Elijah, ascend to a higher. Why do they try us, deny us, turn up the heat and fry us? Is it because they ain't us? Is it because they hate us? Is it because we call upon the name of the Messiah? I be like Yahweh Shai. Father told me never lie. Father told me bear my cross. Now I know it's do or die. Father told me crucify my flesh so I can say a lie. I be Abram, I be Isaac, I be Jacob, I be Moses, I be Aaron, I be Caleb. I be like Christ, I be like Christ, I be like Christ, I be like Christ. I be Abram, I be Isaac, I be Jacob, I be Peter, I be Paul, I be Philip. I be like Christ, I be like Christ, I be like Christ, I be like Christ. I be like Christ, I ain't wasting time. I'm trying to shine bright like that star in the sky. He be my light, he be my law, he be my temple. I put burdens on instrumentals to bend you, mold you, show you the tree of life before you. I'm picking grapes from the vine, trying to be divine. But with all this sin in my life, I know I'm bound to die. I ain't wasting time, I'm trying to shine my light. I be like Christ. I be Abram, I be Isaac, I be Jacob, I be Moses, I be Aaron, I be Caleb, I be like Christ, I be like Christ, I be like Christ, I be like Christ, I be Abram, I be Isaac, I be Jacob, I be Peter, I be Paul, I be Philip, I be like Christ, I be like Christ, I be like Christ, I be like Christ, I be Abram, I be Isaac, I be Jacob, I be Moses, I be Aaron, I be Caleb, I be like Christ, I be like Christ. Ha.
Fly melodies.
I just wanna thank my God. Oh my God, yeah, oh yeah. I just wanna thank my God. Oh my God,
I just wanna thank my God. Oh my God, what would I be without y'all? I just wanna thank my God. Oh my God, what would I be without y'all? I just, ooh, I just, hey, okay. I just wanna thank my God. Oh my God, what would I be without y'all?
I said I don't know what took over me. I put my shield of David on and threw away my rosary. I'm girded like a soldier bee. Salute me when you see me. Feel my pain through this poetry. Child through the prophecies written through the right of me. I know of your afflictions and I know about the poverty. We sounded like
For a second. Failures. We're gonna run a video about, like I said, we coming back. We have a video with some brothers that's discussing the same topic, and we're gonna see what they're talking about, and we're gonna analyze what they're talking about and see were we speaking correctly or were we off base with our analyzation of the scriptures. So let's read. Let's check out the video. You can play the video, Cat.
Course, and then the great doctrine. They think it's all right because, one person will say, oh, no, you got to understand, we in war. This is war. So that makes it all right. You see? Now watch this. If you are in war and you find your enemies, that makes it all right, though, right, Bakwash?
I don't think rape is good at
great.
I'm sorry. I don't think it's good in any capacity. Now, in that situation, that's a circumstance. The argument I have with it is that you have scripture that says there's a penalty for if you rape someone. So it can't be good. Just the fact if you put hands on someone and harm them, that's a violation of the law. So how can rape be justified except for the example of war?
All right, pause right there. All right, so that's my brother Bukwa. He's an elder of mine, all praises to Yahweh. And he was on point until he said, except for the war. Now, the Father never sanctioned us to even violate women, even in war. Now, will women get violated in war? Con. But he never sanctioned us to do that. Right? We do read about women getting violated in wartime. Let's get it out of Isaiah, the 13th chapter. But he never ever said that that would be the children of Israel doing that violating, or his chosen ones, or his priests, or his teachers, or his righteous doing that violating.
Nehemiah will be violating women,
right?
War.
You know what I mean? Who did more war than David? How many women did David violate?
Right.
Think about it. Who did more war than him? Right? The most warriors king would battle everybody.
40 years of war.
Where does it say? And David held her down and had the business, right? He never did no such thing, and we will do no such thing. Read.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 13, verse 15. Verse 16. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives.
Let's go.
Ravished.
Let's go up there a little bit and see who we talking about. Give them the verse that shows daughter of Babylon. Let's see who we talking about here. Does it go into it later on?
We're talking about verse 19, like verse 17, 19. The Medes in Babylon, right?
All right, go. Yeah, go. You can read where you're reading from. Then it'll get to it. It's like it'll get to it. You can read where you're reading from.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 13, verse 15. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them.
I'll do what?
I will stir up the Medes against them.
Now, those of us that know our history, the Medes are another nation. Today, they would be called like the East Indian, right? Or was that Pakistani, right? Right. That's where the Medes are, right? Pakistan, up India. He said he gonna stir up the Medes to do this, to ravish their women. He didn't say we doing that, right? Remember, we battle axe and weapons of war. He said he would use us to break in pieces the nation. He never said he's going to use us to ravish the women. That's not of the Most High, right? For the children of Israel. That's something for the nations to do, okay? So we need to show that difference, all right? We're showing that difference within the word of the Heavenly Father, all right? So when the elder Bakwa spoke, he spoke correctly when he said that it's never good to rape a woman, but he said except for in wartime, and that is incorrect. It is never acceptable for a Hebrew Israelite to ravish or to violate a woman, right? We can put them to death, but we cannot lay with them because that's something that the nations did to harm someone. They believe Esau called it buck breaking, right? Or they used to do
like
that
domination, right?
Like a dominatrix type spirit that's on Esau. He got that dominatrix spirit that he want to crush you, and when he crushed, he want to crush your heart and your mind by taking your body in a way that it ought not to be taken. He looks at trying to rule over your spirit by destroying your spirit. We rule over the spirit because we are righteous and we're mighty in the Most High. We're not looking to tear down and destroy people, right? That's not our spirit to do that. That's the spirit of the other nations. That's what you see in the hieroglyphics of the Egypt. Egypt was also known to do that, use sexually destroy people's heart, soul, and mind through sexual manners. We never did that. Right, the Rome was known for that, right? The rape, ravished the women and the young boys and the men, right, and take their hearts so they wouldn't stand up and fight and create a new thing in the earth. We never did that. We fought nobly, and if we kill, we kill. That's it. Bury you, right? We're not going through all that extra stuff. Not time. Remember, matter of fact, it was so horrible to fall into the hand of the enemy. A lot of us would kill ourselves before we let them hold us. Because when they got us in their hand, they would do all kind of manner of atrocities.
I think
to
that's why
us.
Saul fell on the sword. He knew what they were gonna do.
Yeah, all kind of manner, Babylonians, all kind of manner of atrocities these heathens would do to us, right? We were not like that. We either, if you got to be taken out, you taken out. That's it. If you're captive, you captive. That's it. You work. That's it. Okay. All right. So that thought pattern should not be in your minds, your hearts, and your souls anymore. Right. Go back to that video. Let me see what's a little bit more what was said.
To exclude, to specify as being an exception, to take exception, to object to or against.
So how can we justify except for an example of the war?
Now, as far as
hey, Baquash, you got a daughter?
No,
Yep.
hold on, brother. Baquash, really listen to me, brother.
Mhm.
You are in battle with your enemies.
Right.
You see this beautiful woman because the Most High, your God, said you can do this. Are you going to slay her or are you just going to take her and do what the Most High gives? He gives you an option. He said, but if you see a beautiful woman, you don't really have to kill her. Just take her.
Right, but
What would you do? Would you kill her or would you take her home with you and just, do what you do? What would you do?
in war, if all hell broke loose and the judgment was set, yeah, I'll take her home with me.
So that's out of Elder Maharukar. I put the ad libs in the video, right? E37. Shout out to the family over there. But no, Elder, you don't take the woman. You first of all, taking the woman, they make it sound like taking the woman is a sin. To take a woman is not a sin. What does it mean to take a woman? Let's get some examples of a woman being taken in the scriptures. Let's see if something sinful was happening in these examples of a woman being taken in the scriptures. Right. So we're gonna get first Isaac and Rebecca. And see if we see a problem here, because that's often taken out of context, the taking of a woman, right? As if we're forcing. Forcing is one thing, taking is something else. All right.
The book of Genesis, chapter 24, verse 67.
Mm-hmm.
And Isaac brought her into his mother's Sarah's tent,
Mm-hmm.
and took Rebekah.
And did what?
And took Rebekah.
So he took her. Did he force her? No. When you read the story, you know that she traveled a ways to meet Isaac. She knew that she was going to be Isaac.
She ran to him when she saw him.
You know what I mean? She lighted off her camel and ran to him when she saw him. So she was all for the taking.
Right.
Right? And he took her, but there was no forcing going on here. Read.
And just to give an example on what I said earlier, a slang that we use is, I snatched her. When I was at brunch, yeah, I snatched her. That don't mean you actually grabbed her up.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a way of slang of saying you got her.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that.
You got her attention. Right. You caught her interest. You know what I mean? That's what you're saying. I got her number. Right. Go ahead.
The book of Genesis, chapter 24, verse 67.
Mm-hmm.
And Isaac brought her into his mother's Sarah's tent,
mm-hmm.
and took Rebekah, and she became his wife.
And she became his wife. Read.
And he loved her.
And he what?
And he loved her.
Read.
And Isaac was comforted after his mother's death.
Right. So and he loved her after that. Right. He took her and he loved her. Right. So you can take a woman. That doesn't mean that you are doing something evil. Right. Because we already established to force a woman is evil. Right. So we established that. So here we see that's not the case in the word take. Is there another example of taking? I think there's one other example. I'm in my mind. Is they coming fresh to the forefront of my mind. So just the understanding that we ought to know what these words mean and break them down. Because even when it said our women will be ravished doesn't mean something bad either. All right, ravish also has a bad condemnation and a good condemnation, right? A willful way and an unwillful way. When it said the woman shall be ravished, of course that was unwillful, but there also is a willful ravishing of a woman. Matter of fact, the Bible tells us to be ever ravished with our women's love. Let's look at that real quick. Let's deal with the word ravish. All right, because we read that earlier.
We got Genesis 25:1, and then again Abraham took a wife,
right?
And her name was Keturah.
Right.
Did he rape a wife?
Right. Matter of fact, give me the definition of took before we move on to ravish. Family, let's look at the definition of took.
Laqua. To take, get, fetch, lay hold of, seize, receive, acquire, buy, bring, marry, take a wife, snatch, like how we say now, take away.
Right. Marry is one of the definitions of took.
To acquire.
To acquire. He got something brand
dowry.
New. Brand new. Right? He took her. He married her. Okay. Let's go to Proverbs 5:19. Just to deal with the word ravish. Okay, so we have a different definition of the word ravish. Go ahead.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 5, verse 19. Let her be as the loving hind and pleasant roe. Let her breast satisfy thee at all times, and be thou ravished always with her love.
Be thou ravished always with her love. Right? So we know that the Father sanctioned us to be ravished with the love of our wives. So ravish is not always considered something that's wrong. It could be also something that is right in the sight of the Most High. So it's to have intercourse or intertwine with a woman. All right. So why are we bringing this up? Is to bring clarity to definitions that's in the scriptures, and for us to not jump on a word and think that word means the same thing in every context, because it does not. Okay, it does not. If a woman was took, she was married. If she was ravished, she was made love to. Now, in one context is by force, and one context is not by force. But we have to look in the context of what it was written. Let me look at Proverbs 2 and 14. Okay. We'll start with verse 15.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 2, verse 14. Who rejoice to do evil and delight in the forwardness of the wicked.
Right? Who rejoice to do evil and delight in the forwardness of wickedness? We can't think it's ever going to be a good thing to do evil. Right? If forcing a woman is evil, it's always evil, whether it's wartime or not. Go ahead.
Whose ways are crooked, and they forward in their paths, to deliver thee from the strange woman.
Right.
Even from the stranger that flattereth with her words.
Right, with her word. Go ahead.
Which forsaketh the guide of her youth, and forgetteth the covenant of her power.
Right. So you never want to forget the covenant that you've made with the Most High. Even in wartime, don't forget the covenant. Your covenant with the Most High is that we're going to keep his commandments, for his commandments are true. His commandments is true even during war. Right? When the scriptures say thou shalt not kill, it's really saying thou shalt not murder. And who we're not able to kill? We're not able to kill our brothers, our sisters, our family, our nation. We're not to kill them. But in time of war, when war breaks out, when it's kill or be killed, then you lift up arms. All right. The Father has instructed us to lift up arms many times over, right? Usually against the other nations. But there were also civil wars within the nation, but the Most High wasn't good with that. When there were civil wars amongst the different tribes, the Most High frowned at that, right? But when we had wars against the other nations, that's when we were to lift up arms and fight and kill and destroy and pull down and plunder, because that's what the Father wanted us to do, to establish His will on the earth.
Right.
Right. That's the purpose. So you could understand there's no purpose in us grabbing and having our way with women against their will. There's nothing to gain but a bad name. Right? That's all you're gonna gain. You're gonna gain a bad name, all right, an evil report in the earth, right? Performing such matters. So I hope that we was clear. I hope the family was edified. We went in on this topic. We weighed in on it. As you can see, it's been a topic that was been discussed. And we here at the Light of Zion have our position on things. And we just wanted to bring that edification to the family. Do remember, don't forget to support the truth. Let's put the Cash App in the chat. Baba Kusha. Support the truth. Support the learning. Support the growth of Israel. Support the growth of the Light of Zion. Baba Kusha. Continue to support us. Tell a friend to always log in to the Bring It Out show. We'll be back next Tuesday with another installment of the Bring It Out show. More information. All right, we got guests lined up. So stay tuned. Keep supporting the Bring It Out show. Shalom to all the families online. Shout out to Awaken Judah, Roland Doze. Shout out to Maisha Mariah Rapaya. All right, shout to, we got the big cap in the building. All right, shout to Anna in the building. All right, Awaken Judah's holding me down tonight. I hope Judah, tribe of Judah, hope your question was answered. All right, we going through. Who else is online? If you're online right now, make a comment, make a chat so I can see and say shalom. Please, okay, well, we got it. Who we got? Mars Mercury, shalom once again. All right. Ellie, shalom once again. Going through the chat. I know Kazak is in the building. Shalom. All right. Bayaf Kazak, shalom. All right. With the water for everyone sticking with us. Amos was Captain Judah. Also Captain Judah. All right. Shalom to Cap Judah on the check-in. All right, the water for checking in with us. Okay, any topics, family, you want me to go into, you can just email me. Put my email in there real quick. $SHALAMAH. That's $SHALAMAH. Any topics? Yes.
All right.
Oh, sorry. Just SHALAMAH. No dollar sign. SHALAMAH at ymail.com. All right. I done gave away my YouTube. All right. SHALAMAH at ymail.com. You got topics, you got things you want us to go into, things you want us to address. You like to come on the show and maybe and voice a topic in a situation. We are open to that as well. This is your show. It's the Bring It Out radio show. We're here, your humble servants from the Light of Zion. My name is Minister Shalamar, Chief Minister Shalamar. I have with me the captain of captains, Captain Amawan Baloya Bunya Srala. And with all, we say a lot of Tov. Have a great night. Shalom.
Fly melodies.
I just wanna thank my God. Oh my God, baby, oh yeah. I just wanna thank my God. Oh my God, whatever. I just wanna thank my God. Oh my
be without y'all? I just wanna thank my God. Oh my God, what would I be without y'all? I just, ooh, I just, ayy. Okay. I just wanna thank my God. Oh my God, what would I be without y'all?
I said I don't know what took over me. I put my shield of David on and threw away my rosary. I'm girded like a soldier. Be salute me when you see me. Feel my pain through this poetry. Shout out through the prophecies written through the right of me. I know of your afflictions and I know about the poverty. We sided like the Maccabees through sodomy and blasphemy. Ask me, I'ma give praise to the Most High. I'ma pray to the east and I'ma always pay my tithes. 3 shots to the head, they thought it was a homicide. Rose from the dead in the name of Yahweh shot. 3 shots to the head, they thought it was a homicide. Rose from the dead in the name of Yahweh shot.
I just wanna thank my God. Oh my God, what would I be without y'all? I just wanna thank my God. Oh my God, what would I be without y'all? I just, ooh, I just, ayy. Okay. I just wanna thank my God. Oh my God, what would I be without y'all? I'm a new kid in a new era. Israelites on the move, we don't chase cheddar. I thought you knew better. Our treasures in the kingdom behind the 12 gates where everything's safe, but the guns off safety. My words are slug. Drill them with the commandments, show them love. If you need more proof, I'll just call my plug. Got Kahan on deck.